Welcome to the Cabral Concept, where board-certified naturopath and integrative health practitioner Dr. Stephen Cabral shares how he was diagnosed at the age of 17 with a life-altering illness and given no hope for recovery. It was only after studying and traveling all over the world did he discover how to combine ancient Ayurvedic healing practices with state-of-the-art naturopathic and functional medicine to fully rebalance the body and re-energize it with life. It's time to discover how to get well, lose weight, and finally feel alive again. And now, here's your host, Dr. Stephen Cabral.
Welcome, everyone, to the show here today. Glad to have you on this Total Wellness Tuesday episode of the Cabral Concept. We're going to be diving into episode 2370. So if you want to check out all the show notes, you're welcome to right on over at stephencabral.com/2370. Today's show is going to be a really important one, and that is this. So we have to look at the absolute worst time to begin a fast or to continue a fast. This is an important one because it's something that I've absolutely learned over the years. And so this wasn't really something that was ever taught, I would say, at least a few years back, but certainly when we started doing longer intermittent fasts 15 years ago or so. And it really has to do with much more than just how you feel at the moment. We will be talking about a little bit about that symptomatically, but what I want to make sure is that you set yourself up for success. So intermittent fasting can be one of the absolute best things that you ever do for your overall blood sugar, inflammation, hormones, growth hormone included with that, digestive system, and so much more. But when it's done incorrectly, it's actually detrimental to all of those things that I just stated, meaning it's detrimental to blood sugar because fasting glucose levels could drop too low. What happens when fasting glucose levels drop too low? Well, you start to produce more stress hormones such as cortisol. Okay, so now cortisol levels can become too elevated, signaling greater stress in the body. We certainly do not want that. Some cortisol is good, a whole lot of cortisol, not so much. If we have a whole lot of cortisol, what else can happen? Well, we can start to produce less of our male or female-based hormones. And again, both men and women produce progesterone and testosterone, but you'll see a much greater decline in men in testosterone and a much greater decline in women in terms of progesterone. So really important to look at that overall. And then obviously the more stress hormones you produce over time chronically, it can affect your thyroid, leading to lower thyroid levels. And so that's your metabolism right there, right? And then lower DHEA, which is such a big part of anti-aging and immunity. So that's why I just want to make sure that we understand that we're using intermittent fasting to our advantage and not to our detriment. And that's the bottom line. So what I want to share with you right now is the worst time to never fast or to not begin a fast. And it has to do always what's going on the night before. So intermittent fasting through the whole next morning or even through the whole next day, it actually begins with the evening before. This is crucial. And the reason is this, is that we have to understand, again, blood sugar, dopamine, which is that neurotransmitter. I'm going to link up to that right now. We talked about that on, let's see here. Well, I know it's going to be talked about on 2378 next week's show because I have that planned. But, it's actually on tomorrow's show. All right. So definitely check out episode 2371 tomorrow because it goes in depth on dopamine and why it's not just sugar, right? It's not just highs and lows in sugar that actually changes our mood and our hunger as well. It's actually neurotransmitters such as dopamine. So definitely check out tomorrow's show, but I will give you a little bit on that today. So our fasted levels, again, if it affects blood sugar specifically as well, can affect our stress hormones, our blood sugar, our neurotransmitters, and it can make us, what we sometimes say, a little bit moody, all right, a little bit more irritable, a little bit more hangry, as they say, right? Hungry and angry at the same time. Well, it has to do much of the time with balanced blood sugar, calm state of being, not overly stressed during the day or morning as well, and then balancing those neurotransmitters for overall good mood and satiety. All right, so why does that matter the night before? Well, the bottom line is this. What you do the night before sets you up for that next morning. Let me give you an example. If you eat an enormous meal before bed, the likelihood that you bring down blood sugar levels to normal is not going to happen. Not for most people, all right? And you can test that for yourself with a continuous glucose monitor, just see what it looks like overnight. But if you're going to do that, great, but also do it in conjunction with something that's also tracking your heart rate variability. It's tracking your breath rate, and I would say heart rate variability, heart rate, breath rate, your body temperature, okay? And I go into why all of this is on certain other shows, and I'll certainly be doing a follow-up in a couple weeks as well as to how to improve your overall fasting, like the best time of the day to begin fasting. And here's why. I think you're going to find that big meal before bed, because I know a lot of people are preaching that one meal a day, and I know that one meal a day, if you were going to follow more Ayurvedic-based principles, although they don't recommend one meal a day, would be at lunchtime. But in our Western-based culture, we wait till the day is over. That's when we take our break, again, because it's like, well, we're taking a break. And then we eat this enormous meal at dinner. Okay, again, if you're only looking from body transformation perspective, I get it and I understand. But at some point, you stop being 25 years old and you're 45 years old. And then things really matter, right? Because it matters for overall digestion, blood sugar, mood, all the things that we're talking about. And you'll find that your deep sleep and your REM sleep go down dramatically, or at least your deep sleep if you eat that huge meal before bed. All right, but there's something deeper I have to get to. And this is the most important time. So you do not want to begin a long fast if you have been drinking alcohol the night before. All right, so this is the absolute worst time to begin a fast, is the following day, the next day after drinking alcohol. And here's why. Besides that big meal, although a lot of people do eat a big meal with alcohol, let's just say alcohol in general. Alcohol may initially increase blood sugar levels, all right? But what it's typically followed by is hypoglycemia, or a drop in blood sugar. It's oftentimes why we'll see a higher breath rate at night if you're tracking your biometrics with an Oura Ring or an Apple Watch or a BioStrap or a Whoop strap or any of these different things. You'll actually see typically less deep sleep. You'll see higher breath rate. You'll see higher body temperature, meaning you won't drop into the negative body temperatures, meaning below your typical body temperature overnight. And that's a sign of poor recovery. So you might feel like you fell asleep. I don't disagree. Alcohol can be a depressant to the point where it's allowing you to fall asleep, but it can also be excitatory in terms of dopamine and certain neurotransmitters, which you don't want to spike right before bed. But what we're really talking about today is the drop in blood sugar. So during the middle of the night, you can go high blood sugar, you can go then low blood sugar. You can wake up oftentimes feeling more depleted, not just of vitamins and minerals from drinking alcohol, but actually due to blood sugar as well. So you can be a little bit lower than maybe baseline normal. Why is this a problem? Well, what you have to understand is that if you drop into low blood sugar, you are spiking your stress hormones. That's just the way that it is. A lot of people just say, well, no, my ketone production, or I'll tap into my fatty acids. That doesn't happen to the same degree when you are stressed. That is essentially in an aerobic parasympathetic nervous system, relax-based process, right? So in an ideal world, you would wake up and your blood sugar would just be on the lower side, and you'd say, oh, I'm just going to start burning more fat, right? And I'm going to start making ketones if needed. Well, you have to listen to my podcast, which is The Fat Burning Myth Explained. That does happen. That absolutely does happen. But it's always varying degrees. Like you're burning glucose as well. It's not like your body doesn't burn glucose. And the more you move towards the sympathetic nervous system, which is the fight or flight, or a stress-based environment, which, by the way, is low blood sugar as well. That's a endogenous, so inside of you, production of stress. You produce glucose. That's just the way that it is. So if there's no more glycogen to be brought out from reserves inside of the liver, well, you're going to find stored glycogen somewhere. And that's because the vast majority of stored glycogen is actually in the muscle tissues. So you very well could be breaking down muscle tissue. Bodybuilders know this. They've known this for a long, long time. They're going to do an intermittent fast, but not to the degree that someone might be doing for health. Because what's their main goal? Well, their main goal is to maintain size and put on size exercise, and a long intermittent fast is detrimental to putting on a lot of muscle. I know a lot of people may disagree with that, but it's nonetheless still the truth. If you're on anabolic hormones like steroids, well, you're going to be able to preempt muscle loss to a greater degree because you are on anabolic steroids and your body is then in what? Well, it's in more of an anabolic environment all of the time. Well, the longer you fast, the more of a catabolic environment you're in. That's good for overall health, but yes, it can be taken too far because you're going to eat up different virus, pathogens, all sorts of necrotic-based tissue. But again, it can be taken too far, of course. You want to balance between anabolism and catabolism. Well, again, when you're on anabolic steroids, you've pushed the balance to anabolism. Anyway, we'll talk about that a different show if you'd like. So why is this important? Well, there's many people, such as myself, that do a 12 to 16 hour fast every single day. Mine, I do. My sweet spot for mine is 14 hours. It's 6 at night to 8 in the morning. That's what I do. That's what works best for my body. Your body might do great in fasting until 10 a.m., right? Your body might do great for different types of things. That's totally fine. I'm not going to tell you when to start your intermittent fast. I will say that for 99% of people, you do want a 12-hour overnight fast. 7 at night to 7 in the morning. That could be fine, right? 6 at night to 6 in the morning. 8 at night to 8 in the morning, although I don't think you want to push it until 8, but I'll talk about that on a future show coming up. So definitely stay tuned on why I don't think it should probably be later towards 8 o'clock at night. But again, we'll chat about that. And I'm not talking about every day. Like if you go out once a week to dinner and it's a later dinner, okay, it's once a week, right? It's not every single day. It's what you do the majority of the time that matters the most. Although I'm not saying one day can't be detrimental overall to your health. But again, I think you have to give yourself a little bit of leeway. So again, why did I share this with you? Well, so I do a normal 6 at night to 8 in the morning fast. Again, it works great for me. And I do that, let's say like 28 days out of 30 days out of the month. Like the 2 other days, I might be traveling, things might be off a bit, and that's okay. That's part of life, right? So let's look at something else though, because there's many other people who do a 24-hour intermittent fast. So if you don't know as much about like all the different types of fasting, because it's nuanced, please go to stephencabral.com/IF. Capital I, capital F. That'll take you to all of my intermittent fasting-based shows. I'm telling you right now, after listening to those shows, you will be an expert on intermittent fasting because it's only so nuanced. But again, it is. Like, do you know there's a daily intermittent fast? Did you know there's a weekly intermittent fast? Do you know there's a quarterly intermittent fast? And do you know that there's a yearly intermittent fast that you can do to optimize your health? Well, let's talk about the weekly one for just a moment. So there's many people, again, such as myself, 3 out of 4 Mondays, so not every single Monday, but today, I'm actually recording this on a Monday for the Tuesday show, and I am doing a 24-hour intermittent fast. What does that mean? Well, I ate dinner on Sunday night, and I'm going to go until dinner Monday night, okay? So that means I finished dinner somewhere around 5:36 on Sunday, and I'm going to have dinner somewhere around 5:30 tonight. So that's a 24-hour intermittent fast. During the day, I'll be drinking water, or I might just be doing some of the DNS-based shakes. I share that on the one-day reset diet. It all depends on kind of where I'm at for training and depletion and all those different types of things. But the truth is this, is that if I drank any alcohol the night before, this would be a day that I should not do a longer intermittent fast because I'm causing a lot of stress on my body. What does that mean? Well, I'll start to get more run down. I'll start to lose more muscle tissue, my skin, my hair, my nails, all those things could absolutely be affected. So it's really important to understand like how intermittent fast works because you want to be in a balanced state when this takes place. So let me give you then a real world scenario on how to do this if you do drink alcohol. All right, let's say you drink alcohol on the weekends, but you want to begin a 24-hour intermittent fast. Or you might want to do something like our functional medicine Eco-Life detox, okay? Well, it's important that you don't do it the night before you're to start your detox. This is one of the reasons why I want to do this show here today, because a lot of people begin their functional medicine detox on a Monday. You should not be doing a cheat meal the night before. You shouldn't. It shouldn't be a huge meal, and it shouldn't be alcohol, because you're going to feel worse on your detox. Now, most people feel like I'm going to blow it out the night before. I'm going to have all sorts of my favorite foods and I'm going to have alcohol. And the next day, I'm just going to begin my functional medicine detox. You will feel worse on that functional medicine detox than you typically would have if you had that huge cheat meal or alcohol the night before. And that's because you've already dysregulated your blood sugar to a greater degree. So when you wake up the next morning, well, your blood sugar is going to be lower. You're going to be producing more stress hormones, give yourself a headache, feel hungry, feel low mood, low energy, irritable. Well, Like that would have happened if you didn't eat at all. Like, so again, you can't attribute that to a functional medicine detox when it's what you did the night before. All right. So here's what you want to do. Let's say you're doing a 1-day reset diet. I'll link up 1-day reset diet, by the way, here. So just head on over to stevencabral.com/2370. I will link up all the intermittent fasting shows, just the category. I will link up the 1-day reset diet, and I'll link up how to complete a functional medicine detox. These, of course, are all free podcasts. And you can go in depth on the information on these. Okay, so if you are beginning on a Monday, a 1-day reset diet, or 24-hour intermittent fast, or you're doing a functional medicine detox. All right, we don't want to do a cheat meal later than a Friday or Saturday. You want at least one buffer day in between in order to reset hormones, glucocorticoids like cortisol, and you want to be able to reset blood sugar as well. So that means if you do a alcohol and huge like desserts and all that on Friday night, good. You've got 2 days in between that Monday. Or if you want to do it more on a Saturday, okay, do it on a Saturday. So Saturday night, you're having a couple glasses of wine, you're having pasta, you're having bread, and then you have a piece of cheesecake. I don't know, like whatever you're into. Okay, so then on Sunday though, we don't want to make that a fasting day. We want to eat normally. Eat breakfast, stabilize blood sugar. Eat lunch, stabilize blood sugar. Eat dinner, stabilize blood sugar. Okay, so protein, enough protein at each one of those meals. Okay, you get enough fiber. I'm going to be doing a podcast on protein and fiber. Let me link that up. I should be doing that within about 2 weeks. I mean, that's really just, again, like the best science we can find is on protein and fiber. It really is. Fiber comes from certain vegetables. Protein comes from whatever you want to look at it, vegan, paleo, primal-based proteins, however you want to look at it. But that's what we need to do in order to stabilize blood sugar. Doesn't mean you can't eat fruit. Doesn't mean you can't eat these things. You just want to make sure that it is with the fiber, right? And you want to make sure that it's part of a balanced overall plan. And again, I have lots of podcasts on this. A day in the life of my Mediterranean diet, why 3 meals a day, like all going into the science on these specific things. Okay, so that's what we want to do. So cheat meal, again, you can call it a flex meal. You can call it whatever you want to call it. Does not matter, right? It's just semantics. But these are foods that you would not typically eat because they're not health foods, right? So we have to stop, like, you can drink alcohol, but let's just not say, oh, I'm drinking alcohol because of the resveratrol in it. Like, we know that that is not the reason that you drink alcohol, right? Like, because you can take resveratrol and you can get way more of it in resveratrol in a product like a Cell Boost, right? You're just going to get, you'd have to drink more than a gallon of wine, red wine, in order to be able to get that much resveratrol. It's not going to happen. So again, I think we have to kind of get away from that mindset. Whatever benefits you can get from alcohol, there's certainly far more toxicity, and that's just the bottom line. Again, and it's going to affect your sleep and all sorts of things. Doesn't mean you can't drink alcohol. What it means is, like, let's just not say it's for health reasons. All right. So now we have that buffer day on. So that's say on Saturday night, buffer day on Sunday, rebalance blood sugar, and then you're going to do your 1-day reset on Monday, or you're going to do a functional medicine detox, or you're just going to do an extended fast. And if you decide to do that, you'll be so much better off because your body will have woken up, hopefully, with stabilized blood sugar, stabilized neurotransmitters, stabilized stress hormones. So now you're actually going to get the majority of the benefit because you're not overstressing your body. Blood sugar is not too high or too low, and you're going to get the benefits of all of the benefits, of course, of intermittent fasting. If you're unfamiliar with those, I have lots of previous podcasts at stevencabral.com/IF, and we can teach you all about those, again, free of charge. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, always feel free to share this show with anyone you believe it could serve. But I'm telling you right now, do not do yourself any injustice by having a big meal the night before or alcohol the night before a longer fast. It is not to your benefit in the long run. All right, take care, everyone. Have an amazing day. I'll talk with you tomorrow. Are you ready to heal yourself and then go on to heal others? If so, the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute can help you discover proven functional medicine protocols that blend the best of 7 different healing disciplines from around the world. I personally share with you the exact handouts and protocols I use in my private practice that enable people to get well, lose the weight, and live longer, stronger. I want to pass this information on to the next generation of health coaches, and that is exactly why I created IHP. We are the future of the health coaching industry, and the skills and knowledge you will learn will make you an in-demand certified health coach anywhere in the world. Although we have many medical professionals taking the IHP certifications, no experience is necessary, and half our members have no previous health certifications. At the Integrative Health Practitioner Institute, our motto is a health coach in every home. Our goal is that you take this knowledge and then share it with family, friends, loved ones, your community, or in a practice where you create a career you love and can be proud of. The global IHP community is filled with some of the most kind and caring people in the world, and we can't wait to welcome you into our world soon. For more information or to set up a discovery call with one of our IHP Health Coach graduates, simply head over to integrativehealthpractitioner.org.